Hello and welcome to this tutorial. This time we'll take a look at how to make round objects. So to create round objects we actually have a few options. So we can click on the circle option here and create different circles. We can then click on either circle or different intersections and we can extrude them. So this is how you can achieve interesting shapes. For example, like that. You can also click on the polygon tool, draw out the shape. Then if you select the outline, so just like that, see I selected the blue part, then I can go ahead and choose how many segments I want. So for example, if I had 3, that'll be a triangle. If I had 4, that'll be a square. But as I add number of sides of segments, it will slowly become what looks like a circle. So for example, if I add 20, it will be very spherical. Okay, so for the next part I will explain how to use different arc tools. So we have 1 point, 2 point, 3 point and the pie tool. So these first 3 tools, they work best with a plane. So I will draw a rectangle and I'll show you how that works. So an arc, you draw a point from here to here and it will create a circle between those points. Okay, so since I don't have a perfect square, it does it a little bit outside. Okay, then we have a 2-point arc. So 2-point arc works a little bit differently. So whereas here we got a quarter of a circle, with a 2-point arc we can get half of the circle or more or less depending on how far we want to go. And finally we have a 3-point arc. So 3-point arc requires 3 points, so let's do 1, 2, 3 and it creates that kind of shape. Okay, just to align them all in one position and show you what that looks like. So I'll create so once I have a line through the plane, that means it's a square, and it also says square under the pencil tool, and I will just use each one of them to show you what shapes you're going to get. So if I draw this out, I'll get a half circle here. Then if I use 2-point tool and I draw it out from here to here, then I will get this kind of shape. Okay, now then if I go to arc and I draw it from here to, let's say, here, then I will get this kind of shape. Okay, and this is useful. You can see I can create all kind of curves, all kind of shapes. As I said before, these shapes, they work best with a plane. So any of these planes will do, because if you were to draw them on their own, you will get just a line, and that is not very useful on its own. There are methods that we'll go over later on. The only tool that works on its own is the pie tool, as you can go ahead and draw out a pie and it creates a plane in between. Okay, okay, so for the last part I'm going to recreate a cap. So we'll select the circle tool just like this. Then I'll select it and I will extrude it upwards a little bit to create a little bit of depth, just like that. Then I will use offset tool. Here now we have an offset, and I can select that part and just extrude it upwards. Okay, and now we basically have a very simple cap. I can also take this part and scale it a little bit. So if I click and scale it like this, it will scale it into one direction. However, if I will hold Control, it will scale it in all directions, which is what I'm trying to achieve. So here's an example how to make a very simple cap. Okay, so now let's recreate a wine bottle just for the practice sake. So it is important that whenever you're doing 3D modeling that you just practice different shapes. So I would just do, for example, a vase, a bottle, a can, things like that. So here we'll start from the bottom. I will extrude that part upwards, then I will scale it again holding control so it scales into all directions like that. So this will be my bottom part. Then I will extrude this part like that, maybe a little bit more. That looks like kind of like a wine bottle, I guess. Then I can use offset tool to generate some geometry here. So I'll create on this, and then I'll click and move this upwards. So again, I'll click and hold my mouse button, and then I'll press up so it locks on the y-axis, just like that. Then I'll extrude it one more time, and I will scale it down to maybe this size. Maybe it can be a bit lower. So again, I'll click on the move tool, I'll click it and I'll press up so it looks something like that. Now I can do perhaps one more extrusion like this. Take this and move it upwards like that, and now I can do it one more time. So I will simply extrude it, maybe like that. Okay, so now let's make an outline, but this time outwards. So I will click on outline and I will extrude it outwards like this. So now I can click on here and I can move it upwards like that. And also for the cork, I can extrude that like this, and we'll get a funny bottle. Does not really look like a wine bottle, but looks like something. So if I were, so just to try to fix it, I'll click on this and I'll just move it up a bit. So maybe like this. Another thing to make it fancier, maybe I can click on this ring here and I can make it a little bit wider. So kind of like that. So maybe it looks like a brandy bottle. Yeah, overall it's a reasonable bottle. So what you can do from now is just practice with different bottles, different shapes, create maybe a vase, maybe a cup, and just keep on doing different shapes. So thank you for watching this tutorial, and I'll see you next time.